Speaking of, we have another Talk of the Township coming up.
Yeah, when are we doing this?
The second.
Oh.
Good evening. Calling to order the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for November 16th, 2022. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Rose, can you please call roll?
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present. And then moving on to the approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the November 2nd, 2022 regular trustees meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the November 7th, 2022 special meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then moving on to elected official reports. So I think most of our residents have heard that we lost our dear friend and our fiscal officer, Mrs. Amy Dawson, which was very unexpected. We are all hurting all morning. It's very empty without her here, but we know she's here in spirit. So it is a very difficult time right now for Concord. We can't thank her enough for the many years of service, her dedication, and it's just really tough. She was a great friend. So we ask that you please keep her family in your prayers, especially now at this holiday season when it's a little difficult for everybody. That being said, please know that we are actively working on a replacement as a fiscal officer as outlined in the ORC. We are in good shape. We do have good fiscal oversight in place, so we're all good there. So let's move on to the trustees' report. Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think, we said a lot. It's difficult. I know we're all devastated and shocked with the unexpected passing of Amy Dawson. She was a great person. I mean, I could say many things about her. First, her service to her community was above reproach. She was a dedicated public servant, committed to Concord Township. She put in hours and hours and loved this township very much. She did her job with diligence and grace. She'll be missed. As far as her friendship, I enjoy the memories I had with her. She was a great woman. She'll be missed. I pray for her sons and her husband, and I know she's here in spirit, but she will truly be missed. And thank you, Amy.
Yeah, I've known Amy Dawson for quite a while. I first met her not long after I joined the zoning board and was invited by the prior board to join the Concord contingency in Washington, D.C. They would go every spring, and they said, well, if you pay your way, you can join us and be part of it. And that's where I met Amy Dawson, got to spend time in Washington with the former board, and that's where I got to know her and saw her from time to time, and then reconnected with her when I decided to run for trustee in 19. And she has been a pillar. When I told her I wanted to run, she really supported me, and I think she did a great job handling this township, but I think she really stepped up to the plate when we joined the board, when we took over, when all three trustees left this township at the same time and the three of us became a new board. Amy was the glue that kept everything together. The community, I don't think, understands the amount of time and effort she put into it and how she stewarded over that transition, but she really cared. She knew everything. Every time I turned around, she knew a family, she knew a name, she knew a property, a piece of history, who's who and what's what. And, we know that the last couple of years, I wouldn't do that if I were you, or you should think about this, or did you know about that? I mean, how many times she was the guardrails for us, and just supported us and really took care of this community. She will be missed. Great friend. Great friend.
I agree. She loved Concord. I was always intrigued by her knowledge, her history, just her intuition on what seemed appropriate. One of the great stories I remember is when we were at one of the wreath ceremonies, and she loved the cemetery. She served as sexton, so she had a fondness for the cemetery. And she loved to walk around and point out, burials from different wars. And, we have someone from, that should have been buried in Arlington here. And just thought it was just the coolest thing. And she was proud of her where she is buried. And so it sort of gives me comfort that she's happy that she, chose Concord and chose that area and felt comfortable there. So that does provide me a little comfort.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice knowing she's close by.
Yeah, she always will be.
She'll not
She'll be
forgotten.
guiding us.
No, always.
Yep.
I love you, Amy.
Yep. We will miss you.
Did you have anything else to report?
I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. You never know, just sort of, you reflect upon Amy's unexpected passing, and like it puts into perspective that, you can't take any day for granted. So, on Thanksgiving, recognize that and make the most of your day and enjoy your family and your friends.
Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody also a happy Thanksgiving. I think that's an appropriate observation about the holiday and giving thanks and being grateful, because I've recently experienced how fragile all of it is.
Right.
Agree. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have some peace and joy this holiday season. And I don't know about you, but I've already been listening to Christmas music, and I'm one of those that put the tree up early. I know, I'm one of those.
Already? It's already up.
But I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. All right, so we will move on to the department reports. Our administrator, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci, members of the board, members of the audience, good evening. As usual, I'll start with some things on the agenda, and then I'm going to go a little bit out of order from my normal reporting. But item A is a resolution that's to enter into a grant agreement with ODNR. That is for the capital improvement project for the restroom. This is another step in the capital budget award that we received thanks to the good work of State Senator Serino and State Representative Callender, the $50,000, but there's a paperwork process, and this resolution authorizes me to sign some grant paperwork, and it also states that we will put up our portion of the funds. So that's what that is. Item B on the resolution is for the fireworks show. Incidentally, these fireworks were covered by a business sponsor, and we'll talk about that at the tree lighting, so we thank them. Speaking of the cemetery, everyone is invited to join us to remember and honor those who served our country during the annual Wreaths Across America ceremony. The ceremony is at noon on December 17th at the Concord Township Cemetery. There's a very short ceremony, and then after that, everybody in attendance is invited to pick up some of the wreaths and set them on veterans' graves. And it's a quite moving and touching event. There's a lot of information that can be found on our website. So I look forward to seeing a good turnout, as we usually do at that event, December 17th at noon. We are expecting, this is, I believe, our first real winter weather advisory has hit the boards, and I think we're expecting somewhere around 6 inches or so here tonight and into tomorrow. So the first snowfall of the year, I think the body shops around the area rejoice more than anybody else. So I just urge everybody to give yourselves a few extra minutes and just be cautious on the road and refresh yourself on those steps you need to take to drive safely in the snow. Our featured bicentennial picture this meeting. It's a little early, but Amy Lucci has her tree up already, so I felt safe in putting this up. But on December 2nd at our tree lighting, Santa will also be here. And this is a picture from one of Santa's visits not too long ago, right after the fire chief. There's no room here on Town Hall property for Santa to park his sleigh. So he does it a little farther down the road, and then we have the fire department bring him for the last little leg. But Santa and Mrs. Claus will be here on December 2nd for the tree lighting. That starts at 7 o'clock. Right immediately following the tree lighting, the kids can come into town hall and come and visit Santa. And then the evening concludes with a final salute to Concord Township and our 200th year, our bicentennial, with a fireworks show at about 8:30. So we invite you to come and join us and bring the kids. It's always a well-attended event with the Christmas tree. I wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. And Amy Dawson was a good friend. I remember when I got here in 2018, I remember her yelling at me. I hadn't been an administrator 2 or 3 weeks, and it's very similar to what Mr. McIntosh alluded to, the guardrails. And I started making some minor course changes in administration and so forth. And she came up and I got a lot of, "Are you really sure you want to do that? Let me give you a history lesson." And she gave just some tremendous history lessons. And when she heard a resident was coming to see me, she would walk up and say, "Oh, well, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, they're probably going to talk to you about this, or they're probably going to talk to you about that, and then here's the background." And it was just more than you could ask for. And it was very apparent that, she cared deeply about this community. And yeah, I will miss my friend. And finally, I want to thank Morgan. Being a trustee is a thankless job sometimes. And who would have thought at the beginning of the year, when the assignments were done and Morgan was named as the fiscal officer pro tempore, that we would have to do what we're doing. But I appreciate, between Cindy and Melissa and Morgan, and Amy Dawson wouldn't have it any other way, but, and Morgan could probably talk to it a little better than I can, but, we haven't missed a beat. We've managed the money, we've taken care of business, we've paid the bills, we've submitted the correct reports, and that's because we were all well trained. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. With that, I'd like to give a short update as far as fiscal. Pursuant to the conversations that we've had, I've had a couple meetings here at Town Hall. When Amy became hospitalized, we took a course of action and have maintained that. I've had meetings with Cindy and Andy to talk immediately about, we don't really have any concerns, and obviously last meeting we appointed Melissa as our assistant fiscal officer. So speaking to Amy's legacy, our first year as a board together, she requested hiring a deputy, which she had the province to do on her own, but we all agreed, and that forethought has played out, because Melissa, though she resigned this spring, has come back and stepped right in and is a wealth of knowledge. Amy has done what every good leader does, and that was training her successors up into educating us thoroughly on things that we've done, but preparing preparing the work, and Melissa knows what she's doing and has been able to pick up a ball, and to the point where we're even finding that there's a lot of things that are well in order. So as far as the finances for the rest of the year and looking into 23, budget meetings have already been held. I will have a department meeting with each department head casually to review their conversation, because of course they will be coming to the trustees to talk about their budgets for next year. We are in communication with the state and with the county as far as the cadence of having our temporary appropriations, permanent appropriations, estimated certificate of resources. All of that will flow its normal process. So rest assured, things are in good order. Obviously, we know we've advertised and that Ohio Revised Code is requiring us to make an appointment by the 3rd of December. So we have agreed to make a project list and have a spin up when things are going to be due and a running conversation. So I'm prepared to continue having meetings with staff and when we do appoint a fiscal officer to work with that individual to get up to speed. So the first meetings I had when I was a candidate for trustee was, well, fiscal. Sat in Amy Dawson's office and walking those steps, but things are in good order because she did a good job and she trained us well. So.
No, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. I think Mr. Dondorf and I agree. We feel solid. We appreciate your stepping up. Thank you to Amy for putting us in the right place to move forward. Yeah. So, all right, time for audience portion. Anyone here that would like to speak? So then we'll, okay. Well, thanks for being here. We will move to old business. Seeing that there is none, we will move to new business.
Okay, Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-27, authorizing the Board of Trustees of Concord Township to enter into a grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources for a capital improvement community park recreation conservation project.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I move to approve PO in an amount of $6,000 for the American Fireworks Company.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Rose, can you please read future meetings and announcements?
Yes, ma'am. Township offices will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving on Thursday, November 24th and Friday, November 25th. On December 2nd at 9 a.m. will be the staff meeting here at Town Hall. On December 6th, Tuesday at 7 p.m., the Zoning Commission will meet here at Town Hall. And on Wednesday, December 7th, from 6:30 to 7:15 is office hours. And then at 7:15, there will be a public hearing here at Town Hall. And then at 7:30, or upon the conclusion of the public hearing, will be the regular meeting of the trustees here at Town Hall. And that concludes future meetings and announcements.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. This meeting is closed.